This is 6 News at 5.
I'm not trying to think negative. I'm just hoping that he's somewhere out there and, he just comes home.
Tonight on 6 News at 5, the desperate pleas for answers as the search for a Temple father enters its second week. What we know about his disappearance.
And disturbing details reveal the moments a victim was gunned down and why the suspect called 911.
And a local car dealership is giving away a vehicle. The amazing story of why the business owner wants to bless someone in need. Good evening and thanks for tuning in on your Friday. I'm Lindsay Lippman.
Welcome in. Glad you're here, everybody. I'm Chris Radcliffe. And the search continues for a 20-year-old missing father in Temple. Amarion Moore was last seen on March the 30th when he got into a Mustang with a friend.
Well, he hasn't been seen since. And tonight his family is asking for your help in bringing him home safely. 6 News reporter Sydney Deshawn spoke with the mother of his child on their fight for answers. Sydney?
Chris and Lindsay, tomorrow will mark 2 weeks since Moore first disappeared. He was last seen at a family gathering. His family tells me he was picked up by a friend who then dropped him off at another friend's house. However, that friend could not give the family a location. As Temple police investigate, the family is asking for your help. They have created a hashtag called See Something, Say Something and encourage those with any information to speak up. They are also working on putting together a search party. Moore is a son, brother, and father. His son, Amarion Jr., has been saying Dad more and crying. His family telling me he can't comprehend what's been going on. The two have a bond like no other, and Moore would not go a day without his son.
Anybody that knows Amarion knows he would have called by now. He would have checked in. He would have found a way, and no matter if his phone is gone or wherever his phone may be, he would have found a way to get a hold of somebody. Even if he has to, he'll get up and he'll walk. He'll walk to where he has to go. Like, he's not the type to just give up so easily. And he would never do this.
While the family continues to search, Temple police confirmed they have attempted to ping Moore's phone. They've also reached out to the service provider. Police are following up on the vehicle he was last seen in as well. Anyone with any information should contact Temple police. Guys.
Yeah, Sydney, thank you for the update. We're hoping for a good outcome.
Meantime, new details tonight at 5. The suspect charged with killing his mom and dad in West called 911 and told the dispatcher that he shot his parents. That's according to an arrest affidavit obtained by 6 News. The shooting happened in West on Tokyo Road on Tuesday. 30-year-old Dylan Bridgers is charged now with capital murder. Police records also reveal that one of the victims called 911. The dispatcher reported hearing an argument between the suspect and victim. At one point, hearing the suspect say, quote, "I'm not going to shoot anyone else." That was followed by more shouting. And while deputies were en route, 3 gunshots were reported. When deputies arrived, they found a man and a woman who had been shot and were unresponsive. Later, dispatch received a 911 call from Bridgers saying he shot his parents. Bridgers was arrested and located in downtown Waco. He's currently being held at the McLennan County Jail.
A small business owner is boarding up shop after a driver slammed their vehicle into a building this morning. Take a look. The car plowed into a jewelry repair store located at a shopping center. 6 News spoke to Angie Martinez, who works next door, and says she was inside when she heard the big boom. That's when Martinez stepped into action, called 911, and helped the driver get out of the vehicle safely.
Whole place right here was full of black smoke because her foot managed to stay pressed on the gas. So how it didn't continue to go in is beyond me because her foot was literally pressed down.
Now, the witness told 6 News that she knew the driver, suggesting that the crash may have been due to a medical condition. Temple police did not confirm that, but we do know the driver was taken to the hospital. There were no reports of any injuries.
In Brenham, 1 person is dead and 13 others injured after a driver crashed a stolen 18-wheeler into a DPS office. Investigators believe this may be intentional, and they arrested that driver. Officials say the suspect was denied a commercial driver's license. He was identified as 42-year-old Clenard Parker. Investigators accuse the suspect of stealing a big rig about 15 minutes away from the DPS office. He led police on a chase before driving into the front door of that office. At least 11 people were given medical attention and have been released. 2 others remain hospitalized. Texas Rangers are now investigating that case.
The NFL's Rashee Rice bonded out of jail last night after turning himself in for alleged involvement in a multi-vehicle crash in Dallas. Police issued a warrant earlier this week for the Kansas City Chief wide receiver. Rice is accused of taking off after that crash without exchanging any information or checking to make sure that everyone was okay. Rice faces 8 felony charges now, including collision involving serious bodily injury. Rice was released with a bond of $40,000. A second suspect charged in the case was identified as a cornerback for SMU's football team, where Rice played in college. The university has suspended 21-year-old Theodore Knox, who's accused of driving that other vehicle. Well, let's step back from the news and talk about the weather. The weekend's here, and it should be a nice one. Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell's checking in with our details. Hi, Matt.
Hey, y'all. Yeah, so the weekend's looking a lot like what today looked like, and today was pretty nice. 79 after starting off at 44. Yeah, we got very chilly this morning, but 79, that warming trend has continued throughout the week. It'll continue into the weekend as well, so expect a few more degrees here to be picked up by Saturday and Sunday. Out there right now, still basically right there, 79 in Temple and Marlin, still seeing those 80s down in the Brazos Valley, and again to our western counties. So that's what we're dealing with right now. A couple of other things that we're dealing with at the moment. A little bit of wind. It's a little breezy out there, 10 to 15 out of the southeast. So of course bringing in that moisture, and with that, with a little disturbance moving overhead, we do have some cloud cover moving in. We'll stay dry, but we will be dealing with that cloud cover not just tonight, but into the rest of your weekend as well. Of course, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, and so I know we're all making our dinner plans. So of course, I've got my Friday night patio cast for you. Let's take a look at it here. For dinner time, looking for mostly sunny skies. Southeast winds 10 to 15, gusting to 20. Because of those breezes, I went 4 out of 5. Yeah, I'm a tough critic. You take the breezes out, it'd be a 5-star forecast. By the time you're paying the check and heading home, a little bit cloudier. Southeast winds 10 to 15, so still a little bit breezy. So again, 4 stars out of 5. It's really hard to get a 5-star rating out of me, but again, temperatures staying comfortable throughout the rest of the evening. Coming up in your full forecast, we'll have your weekend forecast to talk about as well.
I thought you had a little Billy Joel there for me. 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
I didn't even think about that.
Beautiful. Thanks, Matt.
Yep. Well, okay. Texas Discount Automotive in Coppers Cove is doing a car giveaway for a fully serviced 2010 Toyota Corolla that even has a brand new engine.
Well, for owner Bruce Hansen, fixing up cars is a labor of love, as this will now be the 10th car that he's repaired and will give away to someone in need. He sat down with our own Mike Rogers, who has more on this story. And Mike, what inspired him to do this?
Yeah, guys, Hansen described it as a manual labor of love. He says his reason for putting in the hours to fix up not just this Corolla, but all other vehicles he's given away is God's calling for him to help others.
It is super clean.
Last year, Texas Discount Automotive owner Bruce Hansen found himself in possession of a 2010 Toyota Corolla with a shot engine, no compression cylinders, and 278,000 miles on it.
Some vehicles come in and they're far beyond their usable service. This vehicle was one of those vehicles.
Hansen bought the vehicle and title from a customer for $200, knowing well the work to repair it would be no small task, and the end goal would be lofty.
This could change somebody's life significantly.
Over the past year, Hansen's replaced the car's engine, changed the CV axle, installed a new AC compressor, and got it up and running. And come the end of the month, he'll pick the next owner by hand.
We wanted to go to somebody that it's going to make the most difference in their life.
After advertising the giveaway on Facebook, within minutes, Hansen's inbox was flooded. People telling him their dilemmas and need for a new vehicle. Now their names sit in a box, and by next month, a recipient will be selected.
He tells us to take care of each other and love each other as we love ourselves. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Hansen's given away 10 cars to people in need over the past 7 years.
I love myself enough to have a car. Why shouldn't my neighbor have one as well?
And hopes this gift will land with someone who needs it most.
On your headstone, you will have the date you were born and the date you died. Your life is all in that dash. That dash is far more important than those 2 dates. And what you do in that dash is going to affect everybody else's dash.
Now, Hansen says that drawing will be at the end of the month or early May. For information on how to get in the drawing, check out this story on our website, KCENTV.com, guys.
Makes you want to do business with him,
Yeah,
you
no
know,
kidding.
just day to day. What a great guy.
Yep.
Well, the Mexican restaurant that Baylor's Scott Drew ate at earlier this week is now paying tribute to the legend.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of advertising out of this. Check it out. Drew's Table, a booth named after him. Mika Sita sent us these photos. We thank them for that. In case for some reason you missed the news this week, Baylor's head coach was at the center of speculation. Here's his photo that he'd take a role at the University of Kentucky. Well, before he announced yesterday that he wasn't going anywhere, he shared that photo you just saw to Twitter of him eating at Mi Casita, which then led to the restaurant giving dozens of 5-star reviews from the Big Blue Nation. The future Hall of Famer is here to stay in Waco, we're glad to report, and Mi Casita has solidified this as a moment in history, and the booth is named after him. That's pretty great.
I just want some chips and queso now.
Well, you'll have to go to Drew's table and visit. All right, coming up on 6 News, the TEA is now leaning on AI technology to grade STAR tests, saving the state millions of dollars. Why critics are now skeptical of the change.
And we've got an all-new director's chair still ahead on 6 News at 5. Welcome back. The United States and Japan are teaming up to advance space exploration. 2 Japanese astronauts will join the U.S. on the Artemis lunar mission. As part of the agreement, Japan will provide a crewed rover, which will also serve as a living quarters for 10 years. The Artemis program aims to get astronauts back on the moon as early as 2028. This would be historic. Not only will this mark the first moon landing since 1972, it would also be the first time any non-American would set foot on the moon.
To the moon, Alice. All right, now this is something straight out of a movie. 3 sailors, you got to see this video, are safe after being stranded for more than a week. Yeah, just like Castaway here with Tom Hanks. Look at this. The U.S. Coast Guard says they rescued the sailors after spotting a help sign that was made from palm tree leaves. These guys did that. The 3 men were found on a Pacific, tiny little island known as an atoll. They had been surviving on coconuts and water from a well on the island after becoming stranded on a fishing trip there themselves. Well, they should have had some fish too. According to the Coast Guard, the rescued sailors were in good health because, you know, coconuts are healthy. Yeah,
well,
we're glad they're okay.
Now.
Pretty
Right.
glad it wasn't a really windy day, right?
Very true. In other interesting news headlines, Florida Highway Patrol released video of an unexpected suspect attempting to break into a trooper's cruiser.
Those bare necessities, those simple bare
That's
necessities.
a curious black bear you see on your screen. The bear can be seen clawing and biting the door handle until it broke off. And that's when the bear gave up and it just went along its way.
He smelled something in there. I think his nose was leading him.
Yeah, so what's inside
Donuts?
the trooper?
Perhaps donuts?
Oh, you said it. Chris said it, Matt. It wasn't me, for the record.
I know we were all thinking it. Chris was just the only one brave enough to say it.